Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to request all the participants to kindly mute your microphone. All right. Welcome everyone, because it's really a great pleasure for me and honor to introduce to you Dr. Manoj Dora. He is basically a globally known expert of circular economy and entrepreneurship. Dr. Manoj Dora is currently working as the Director of Collaborative Projects and Outreach at Brunel Business School in United Kingdom. He is also heading the Operations and Information System Management Group. He holds a PhD from Ghent University in Belgium and a master's degree in economics from Vanderbilt University in the United States. He is also a recipient of prestigious International Food Foundation Fellowship. Dr. Manoj Dora is passionate about food and the supply chain. He is persistently working on fundamental societal challenges, reducing food waste, and establishing a sustainable food secured society. He is founder of the Circular Food Forum at Brunel University, London, which brings together academics, industries, and policymakers to reduce food waste and ensure food security through a circular economy model. He has been involved in many capacity building initiatives focusing on food security worldwide. He is a TED Talk speaker and has shared his thoughts and ideas in several reputed forums, including TED and Cambridge Festival of Ideas at the University of Cambridge. Today, he is here to inspire our students about startups, entrepreneurship, and innovation, and how circular economy fits in the same. With this, I would like to welcome Dr. Manoj Dora for his inspiring talk. Okay, over to you, Dr. Dora.
Thank you very much, Vishalji. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. I am really grateful for giving me this platform and interact with your students. It is indeed a great pleasure, and especially we had a strong bonding with Vishalji. We studied together. We stayed together for some time in Delhi before we went for our fellowship, Ford Foundation fellowship. So really pleased to be with you all. Thank you once again. So let me share my screen with you. Can you see my screen? Or Vishalji, if you are on presenting mode, so
Wilson, your voice is breaking.
So you are in presenting mode, so you can see my screen. Can you see my screen now, Vishalji?
Oh, am I? Okay, yeah, now I can see your screen.
Okay, excellent. So let's start. So I put my full screen now. So as Vishal said, I work at Brunel University in London. So my specific research area is, sustainable food supply chain. And I look into food quality management and how to make the food supply chain more circular. And I will explain to all this, these issues in a very easy way. But before doing anything, let's start with, a few questions about food, circular economy, entrepreneurship opportunities. So these are the three key words I'll be talking today: food, circular economy, and how, what kind of entrepreneurship opportunities it can bring. A famous sentence I learned so long time back: if you want to feed somebody, do not give the fish, learn, teach them how to fish, so that they can fish their own thing and they will be, starting their own livelihood, or so it is important not just to give the food but teach how to make food. That's the whole idea of this particular presentation, or the talk. So let's start with a very few simple questions. Yeah, do you know the percentage of food wasted of all food produced in the world? So how much of the food we throw away of all the food we produced in the world, we produce in the world? In case of live audience, I usually, take the call and vote, but I leave it to your judgment. So, so guess a number A, B, C, D, and I give you the answer. Yeah, it is C. 33% of all the food we produce, we throw away. It means if you buy 3 bananas from the shop and you immediately throw away one of them. Think about it. So next, do you know which regions waste the most food in the world? Is it Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America? Probably you guessed it right. It is Europe. It is a combination of both Africa and Latin America. So Europe throw away more food than Africa and Latin America. Another very interesting thing, fact. You know the percentage of water we withdraw to produce our food. The percentage of water we withdraw to produce our food. You are correct if you say it C, 60%. 60% of the water we use. Another very interesting fact, very related to food, is do you know the percentage of people overweight or obese in Europe? Percentage of people overweight or obese in Europe. You are right if you say it is D. 50%, unbelievable, 50% of the population in Europe are overweight or obese. So, just before I go, one more simple statistics I would like to give before, move on to the next, why we are asking all these questions to ourselves. One is that, do you know how many people go to bed hungry or empty stomach every night out of 9 people in the world? So out of 9 people, one out of 9 people go to bed hungry every day without food or proper meal. So look, I gave you a lot of different information. You saw 1/3 of the food we throw away. We saw in the statistics 1 out of 9 person go to bed hungry. We saw 50% of Europe's population is overweight or obese. Yeah. So all this. So how, if you put together this maze or puzzle, you could see that how on earth we have so much food which throw away, but still 1 out of 9 person in the world go to bed hungry. Do you see a possibility? Do you see as a young student or young entrepreneur, young doer, young change maker, do you see an opportunity you can do something about it? We throw away 1/3 of the food we produce. On the other hand, we have 1 out of 9 person go to bed hungry. In the same planet, we have 50% of the population are overweight or obese in Europe specifically. So all this speaks one thing, that our food system is broken. The way it is organized now is not functional. It is not giving the best result. There is a nutrition deficit, there is a malnutrition, there is hunger, but we throw away plenty of food. Yeah. So one study says we need, per capita. So there is a, per capita availability of food is 2,770 kilocalorie per person per day. This is the availability, and we have them. We have them. We have plenty of. This is enough to feed everybody a healthy, nice meal with proper nutrition content, but we fail to achieve this. So whenever a system fails to achieve something, it means the market, there is a market of possibilities, opportunities. Yeah. So that's the whole idea of this. I will show you in this whole presentation plenty of opportunities. Yeah, plenty of opportunities where you can cash in, you can start your own business, you can make not just a good living, good for yourself, but also you can change the society, you can change employment scenario of the society as well. So let's start this journey with, with a small story I would like to share from my own family. Um, uh, the small little guy in front of this is my old family picture, long time back when I was quite small. In the front row, middle little guy, that's me. So I tell you a story about, and that's my grandma in the middle. So I tell you a story. It's when the school finishes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and one day I came back from home. I came back from school, and I was super hungry, very hungry. And that day, my grandmom gave me, we say in Odisha, pokhal. It's basically water rice. So water mixed with rice, a bit of fermented, because you save the rice from the lunchtime or dinner time, and you serve it for in the afternoon. Yeah. So it's called water rice, and I remember that the distinct taste of that. I still remember that particular meal. It was heavenly. It was so pure. And I was thinking that look at the ingenuity of that old woman who has the idea to save or make best use of each grain of rice. So she saved the rice, and she could use that rice to feed the children at home, right? So the idea of this is that how do we make the best use of the grain? Yeah. So now the same simple traditional knowledge is put together as a how do we, basically that is circular economy at its root. That is the core of circular economy, the best use of resources. There is nothing called waste. Or in other way, we say waste to wealth. In fact, there is nothing called waste. It is in fact wealth. If you know it, how to use it, right? So let's see. I will bring the examples from all around the world to show you how people in different places use this waste to wealth methods. Yeah. So let's start with let's move from my family to my neighbors. We had a very, very hardworking neighbor. She's a farmer, and she was growing tomatoes. really beautiful tomatoes. When in the harvesting season, it's all nice red, beautifully hanging from the tree. But I really like how much effort she put in growing those tomatoes each year. And when she's ready to sell in the market, she pack everything in the bag and bring it to the market. And what this she finds there is that it is way too underpriced. Sometimes it is, it doesn't worth to pack this tomato and bring it to the market. It is she does not get all the value she put it in growing the tomato in that season, because there is an overflow of tomatoes. And finally, what happens that tons and tons and tons of tomato just lying on the floor because there is no buyers or no takers. Just think of the hard work she put in to grow these tomatoes, all the water, all the resources, all the effort, money she put in, and all goes to waste. And friends, we celebrated 73 years of our independence. Not a single year gone, and you don't see this kind of scene in many parts of India. Sometimes it is tomato, sometimes it is onion, sometimes it is potato. We in one season we have plenty, and the other season we have nothing, and the prices go up very high. You see a problem, you see a market problem, so whenever you see a problem, it means you see an opportunity. You see something can be done here. Let me show you what are those things we can do here. Yeah, let's move from my neighbors to around the world. Uh, in sub-Saharan Africa, 21% of all the food is wasted, which can feed 100 million people. And one thing I must say, it's very interesting. As I travel and I also looked into different food supply chain in the countries or in the region like Africa, Asia, or developing part of the world. Food is being wasted mostly at the harvesting level, because of the lack of storage, lack of infrastructure, transportation, and very less food is wasted at the consumer level, though it is growing because of more income level, increase in income level. People buy more food and then they don't consume them all. Yeah. So, but in the developed part of the world, there's more food wasted in the consumer level because they manage the infrastructure and food harvesting pretty well. So we'll go into that. And so that same tomato, to grow one tomato, can you believe that 13 liters of water is required? 13 liters of water. So if you are throwing one tomato, and we already saw tons and tons of tomatoes are thrown away, you are throwing actually tons or milliliters and liters of water. One tomato needs 13 liters of fresh water. So you are not just throwing away food, but you are throwing away water and all of the vital resources as well. One hamburger is costing 2,400 liters of water. Unbelievable amount of it. And if we just throw away this, then you just imagine the implications. And there's a huge shortage of water in many parts of the world. Another implication of the West is, if West and laws would be a country, third largest country emitting greenhouse gases after China and the States. So see just food waste is not just one, just that you are throwing away food. It also wasting a lot of water. It also serious implications on the environment in terms of greenhouse gases, which may not be now or slowly now as well, but in our, soon the next generation will face the consequence of how responsibly or irresponsibly we are dealing with food. Yeah. So let's think about it. So now I move from, I start with my family, then my neighbors, and in our Indian context. Then now I got a chance, like Vishal, that went to study economics in the US, and it was a fantastic, experience for me to to see a new world. It's to a different world, yeah. So it was unique opportunity we got from the Ford Foundation to study abroad. But that introduced me to the other side of the world. There I see the problem of plenty, and this is a food plate served in a US restaurant. Yeah. And trust me, this is not just a sample, it is across, so in general the plating size or the serving size in the US is quite huge, right? And that leads to a huge loss of food at the consumer level or consumption level. And imagine, 20% of all the food Americans buy, they throw away right, they don't even touch. So they buy all the food, and 20% of them they don't even touch again. That goes to the waste bin. So the magnitude of food waste it's severe. How do we deal with that, right? And then I moved. So then I moved from US to Europe for my PhD, and this is a picture from a nice restaurant in Belgium. And Belgium is a unique place. It's in the middle of Europe, a small country, and you'll be surprised to know it has the highest density of star restaurants. It means they are known for serving high quality food, very beautiful food, and they have very nice chocolates. Yeah, amazing chocolates they produce. So it's a food capital of Europe, kind of, it's in the middle. But during that time, I did my PhD in Europe, in Belgium, and my PhD was about looking into food supply chain. How do we make our food supply chain more efficient? So no matter how beautiful and nice and and delicious food I see outside, but I was exposed to the darker side of the food production in Belgium as well. Yeah. So I visited almost 50 food processing companies in Belgium and other part of Europe. So how they make food, how they make the bread, how they make sausages, how they make pizza, how they pack fruits and vegetables. I visited all, how to make cheese, all those different kind of companies I visited during that time. And let me bring those companies to you. Let me show you the ground realities, the dark side of food processing. What happens behind that screen, behind that factory door, and how they make food for us. Yeah. So let me take you take you through that journey. Let's start with the bread, the basics, right? So this is a huge bakery, yeah, and the picture you see here is the side parts of the bread sides, and these are all tons and tons of them every day goes to the waste bin. Yeah. So why they're throwing away? Because we, the customer, do not like the side parts of the bread. So it means, do you think any nutritional value of this is lost? No. This is just crunchy. But just because taste wise we don't like it, we throw away. Do you see an opportunity here? Do you see it as a waste, or do you see there is a potential of wealth? Do you see we can do something around it? Keep your thoughts there, and we will go through more. So next I went to another amazing company. They produce really the best chocolate in the world. It's really delicious. These are the chocolates, really soft, smooth, out of the world, amazing chocolates. Belgian chocolate is known in the world, for making the best chocolates. And the picture I took is from the West Bin. All these tons of chocolate is, these chocolates are going to the West Bin. They are going to throw away. Do you see a problem here? And you would ask why they are throwing away this chocolate? Because the supermarket, they do not accept, because they have a specification. It should be this size, or it should be this thickness, or it should be this strong. And if any of those little specification is wrong, then they all goes to the west bin. Do you see a potential? Do you see opportunity? Think about it. We'll come back to it. Next, this is the picture of high quality energy drinks, but they're all ready to be thrown away. Why? Because by mistake, by error, one of the employee maybe put wrong levels on these drinks, and the implication of that is all these drinks going to the landfill. Do you see opportunity? Do you think, keep your entrepreneurship mind, what are the things you can do with this? Can you think of how to turn this waste into wealth? We'll come back. Now, this is the picture of one of the largest fruits and vegetable packaging company in the world. Most of the fruits and vegetables in Europe and also in the US and in most of the developed part of the country, now in developing country as well, are packed in a plastic bag so that it's conveniently you can just pick it up from the supermarket. So these companies, they buy all this product and they cut, chop, clean everything, pack it in plastic bag and sell it to supermarkets. So that is the main processing activity these companies do. But this is the picture. If you see how they handle your food, if you see things are lying around, dirty, not taken care of, this will, we gave a measurement calculations to them that how much of these fruits and vegetables which are thrown away or spilled on the floor are costing them. So you'll believe me or not, our calculation shows that each year they can buy or they can gift 10 Ferraris to their staffs as a gift if they could save this amount of food which is being wasted on the floors. Do you see a potential? Do you see opportunity? Do you see the waste or the wealth? We will come back. So now, coming back from Europe, I share a story from Africa. The picture you saw is from Uganda, and the person next to me is Mr. Edmond Kagambe. He's the Vice Chancellor of the local university called Mountains of the Moon University. And one day we were driving, in a very remote region called Bundubuzia. It is quite remote. It's very difficult. It's a border between Uganda and Congo, and it's very difficult to reach there. Earlier there were no roads. Now they built better roads. So we were driving around, and on the roadside we found a shop where they sell the fresh fruits and vegetables. And inside we found tons and tons of bananas is ready to be thrown away. And I simply asked, what happened? Why this banana is used to be rotten, and you cannot find you cannot sell it, in the market. Say no, we do not have the transportation facility around here to bring it to the bigger local market. So it means because of the logistics problem, the produce cannot go to the market and there is less consumer. Then I ask, what about this Coca-Cola? It's easy to transport, Coca-Cola can reach each and every corner of the world without any problem. But we have difficulty bringing our hard work, and with a lot of hard work we produce these bananas, and we could not bring it to the market where where we can get the best value. So there is an opportunity here again, but we'll come back to it. So far, I went through the whole life journey. Also, in fact, I went through the whole supply chain journey in association with my life. I moved from my childhood to my neighbors, to our national context, to the US, to Belgium, and then to Africa. And I looked into the farmers level. I looked into the processor level, at the retailer level, supermarket level, at the consumer level. I also showed the developing country context and developed country context. So one thing is clear, that there is food waste in each stages, irrespective of region, irrespective of what stage of supply chain you are in. It's there is one inevitable food waste, right? But if you see it is waste or if it is wealth. But what is driving this most food waste is this simple, our approach. So far, we are living in a linear economy, that is take, make, use, and dispose, right? So we take resources, we make something, we use out of those, we use some of those make, and then we dispose. Simple, we produce, we take the water, use the soil, we produce the tomatoes, that is make the produce tomatoes, use some of them, and rest we dispose. A pure, simple, linear model. That has been our approach so far. And where we are wasting plenty and plenty of natural resources and our valuable inputs, which could be used as a excellent output. But because of our narrow linear thinking, straight way or linear model, take, make, use, dispose, leads to piles of waste, right? So how do we change this? How do we make it circular? How we will leave this straight line approach and bring it to the circle level? How do we do that? Any thinking coming? Any ideas? So that's why there's a new concept called the circular economy. So in each stages, in each level, you could think of what else I can do, how best I can use these resources, so that it will come back. It will be a feedback loop. always every output can become an input for other industry. Let me explain a bit more. So this is simplifying again the circular economy and linear economy. So you saw the first line, linear economy, take, make, use, waste. So there is plenty of waste, overflowing of waste in one. The second is slightly improved version is the recycle economy. That is take, make, recycle or reuse, and then waste. But we remain with some waste because we are not fully using it. And the circular economy is a comprehensive, holistic approach. There, we rely on 4R: recycle, return, repair, and reuse. So this will be a feedback circle, so that every time, every product you sign, you can think about what are the different things I can do. Can I recycle it? Can I repair it? Can I return it? Can I reuse it? Can I redistribute it? Can I recycle? So there is all these different possibilities you can do. Okay, I know these words doesn't make sense if you really can't see it in action. So I'm going to show you some of them in action. I'm not saying everything is completely new. Most of the things you probably know, but I will show you the entrepreneurship potential. As a young entrepreneur, what are the things you can do? How you can start something cool and turn this waste into wealth. Let's start with the same classic example of all those tomatoes which my farmers were throwing. Would it be possible to industrially, dry them? Or can we make sauce out of them? How do we do them in a more efficient and economic way, which can increase the value, and the farmer, which is not able to get the right value for the tomato, will get the money back. Instead of feeding it to the cows, what are the best value it can get? So that is how do we do that? So I give you one example here. This is a very interesting project we did in Uganda. Yeah. So look at this. But in a traditional sense, you collect tomatoes from all these small farmers. You bring it to a different warehouses or storehouses or storerooms. Then you bring it, transport again to big processing farm where the processing industry, like a big industrial unit, where you either make it a sauce, ketchup, juice, whatever you like, in a big processing unit. It means you are basically doing a centralized processing or manufacturing or industry, right? Everything has to be transported to the bigger city, yeah, where through middlemen, through transportation, through storage, and there will be a lot of waste involved in this, and not always economically convenient as well. And as in our context, we have a lot of remote, inaccessible areas. It is very difficult for us to reach each and every farmers to get all the produce so that we can cover them all. Instead of this, do you think about as an entrepreneur, can we have something, a small processing unit like the one you see in the right hand side, a mobile one, a truck, which can move with all the machine from farm to farm, right? We go to one farm, we collect their tomatoes, process everything, yeah? We process, we tetra pack them, then we send it to the nearest local market. So instead of bringing all the tomatoes to one centralized location, how about bringing the mobile to small processing unit to the farm, help the one farmer, then after finishing you move to the next farmer. Do you see a potential here? Do you see how many things we can do like this? You can make jaggery out of a mobile jaggery unit for all the sugar canes used. So like there's a plenty of opportunity. Just think how you can change with simple technology. So I'm here. What I'm trying to do is making you think. It's not just imitation of one this technology available. No, how do we and how do we think what we can do to turn this to this waste into wealth or gold. Next very interesting example is these not so good looking carrots, right? How many of us would like to buy something like this? And not supermarkets also, they don't also like to bring this not so good looking carrot to to their shops, so because customers are not interested in it, right? So the poor farmer either has to throw it away or has to give it to his cows, but he's not getting the right amount of value it put in to grow these nice carrots, right? So, but the problem is the farmer do not know, the farmers don't know where are the processors located who can make juice out of these carrots. They can still use these carrots. So as an entrepreneur, do you think you can create a map? Yeah? Let me give an example. We just started one interesting project with the app. You create an app, the farmers in different regions have that app, and just put that I have 1 ton of carrots. The other farmers put I have 2 tons of carrots ready. So if if all the farmers put their input in the app, we have a map of which are the locations having the most carrots. So what this map will give us is interesting. The local processors, they know where to set up their factory, which are the most hot spot where they can make use of the carrots which are going to be thrown away. So one simple app with clear visibility of information can connect the farmer and the processor. You see, so the opportunity as a young entrepreneur here is you can create an easy app to connect these farmers and the processor, or by another entrepreneur can connect. Okay, my friend created this app with which I can see where are the carrots are flowing and overflowing, and can I put my shop or small processing unit next to it to make juice out of those. You see how much interesting entrepreneurial activities you can do to make best out of all those resources. You see what I mean? So next is the same bread which going to West. One company come up with making beer, toast beer coming out of waste bread. This is the kind of opportunity. Do not see waste as waste. Waste to wealth is the new mantra. So look every single thing, but how do you turn it? What technology you use it? How a business model you use? We will go to that in more specific soon. First, I'm showing you all the examples to see the possibilities. How to see the possibilities and opportunities is the first element. Then how we will implement those or turn those into a round, that is another one that we will see also as well. The same chocolate, the Belgian chocolate, there is no loss in nutrition, no text in texture, no text in the taste, right? So just because the specification is slightly different, we can't just throw away this nice high quality chocolate. Can we make, the paste which we can use on the bread? So how do we do that? So always there is a possibility. the same energy drink we're going to waste, right? So the value are the same, the nutritional value, the drink taste is same. So is there a way we can redistribute it or give it to charities or giving donations to people who need those food, yeah, or the drinks? So because all other contents are in appropriate quality and it is safe. If it is safe to do so, can we find a way to distribute it? I know sometimes, some people say it is way more expensive to find people to distribute, bring it to them to distribute, than to throw away. You are right. But again, there is the entrepreneurship opportunities. I saw you how. You know, right now in my neighbor, I have an app. Every single thing which I have left over or I don't need, I can insert those in my app. I'll put those details of items in my app, and in my neighborhood can access that what I am ready to give or donate. Yeah, in my radius of location, and so that I can also, they can come and collect it, or I can also access what is available in others. So it's the opportunity for the developer, the business developer, or the app developer who can easily connect the people who want to give and who want to get, right? So then another opportunity is you can also, make use of all the waste you have. So every single problem we saw so far gives us an opportunity to turn the waste into gold, right? Another very important one is this building in the right hand side you could see is called plant for anaerobic digestion. Yeah, and how we turn the food waste, plenty of food waste, into energy. So this is another new things coming up and getting developed, so there will be absolutely no zero waste. So at the consumer level, if we have gone away, turn the waste food into compost, which we can use in our plant, how to make the plant more healthier and grow faster, right? So we can make compost out of all the waste food. So far we discussed all these different level of primary produce, secondary produce, and use of different technology to how we move or how we turn waste into wealth. Before I go, that one example or two example I would like to give from around the world. This is a very interesting company I went to see in Turkey. In Turkey, they have a lot of olives and they make oil out of those olives, right? So this is an olive factory, black olives, and you could see in the end product is the oil. They press the olives and they get the oil. But the dry element of olives they could easily throw away somewhere in the far, right? Because that is not useful anymore. But they turn this waste, they see opportunity in this waste of dry olive powder. In the third picture here, you could see the piles of dry olive powder. What they did is they turned that into a nice luxury shop, which we wash our hands. And they sell it in a very nice, as a local souvenir for the tourists who come to visit Turkey, right? So look how this everywhere you see a waste, they find a way to turn it into wealth, right? This is an example from Uganda. you'll be very, very impressed with this, initiative. I showed you the story from Uganda where the soft guys could not sell. So one young man, what he did, he saw that a lot of bananas is being wasted. So he collected all the wasted bananas or collect bananas from their community, tribal community around, and with low cost, actually minimal cost, they first ferment it. They keep it in a dark room for some days, 7 to 8 days. Once it is fermented, then they boil these bananas and they drain it, and then they find red sweet wine out of this banana. Red sweet wine which they sell in the local market with way high cost. Just think about it. A banana which is going to waste, a young man from the local community saw opportunity, ferment it with low cost, made into wine and sell it in the local market. So the idea of this, that there is a plenty of very, very interesting opportunities we have all over. But now we know how different opportunity it can generate us. But we have to do it correct. We have to do it right. So we have to, so that, your adventure, entrepreneurship is an adventure, but it should not be just a risk affair. You have to systematically address this adventure. And one tool which is very helpful is called business model canvas. You list out all the activities you need to do. What are the value you will be, driving in terms of resources, in terms of what consumer will get, what finance will drive, and then how we will connect to who are your customers, finding the right customers for your product. How do you reach to your customer? Directly you will reach, indirectly you will reach, through retailers you will reach. So how? What are your revenue sources can be? What are your key resources? In case of this banana winemaker, his key resources were the banana and the local community. So how do you develop them? How do you help them to grow the banana? And how do you collect those bananas to your winemaking plant? What are the costs involved in all those things? So we need a systematic approach in order to map these possibilities so that when you go for this adventure of entrepreneurship, you are taking care of all the risk involved in it. So one thing is helping a lot is the smart technology. So let me give you some of the examples of technology which are coming now in the food sector to make it more circular, and slowly you can use it in your context as well. As a new young age, in entrepreneur millennials, there is plenty of opportunity for you to work on, and one of them is 3D printing. If there is a restaurant here in England, in London actually, they can, if you go there, they can 3D print a piece of meat for you. So the technology went so far, more and more how the future of food will look like. It might look ridiculous now, but the way things are changing, for example, you may not be, eating the full chicken in few days. You'll be, served with chicken powder. I don't know. This is all look very out of the world now, but the way things are developing, the way the insects are coming to picture, because people are looking for more protein-based food with higher income level, with higher income. So there is a more demand for protein. So how do you How do you plant-based protein is another opportunity how we should go for it, um, uh, so there are plenty of interesting opportunities. One of them is robot cooking for you, the robot serving you coffee. This is another very interesting opportunity, helping. Um, Another very interesting idea, and quite prominently used right now is connecting all these people, all the data informations and data analytics, weather data, soil data, crop facilities, satellite image, all this data comes together, and within a fraction of a second, the farmer had the access to all the information, which market you can access, what will be the weather condition, which type of soil it is. So the farmer in his farm will have all the information before even putting a seed in the soil. So he gets the best, optimize all the decisions. So you, as a young entrepreneur, can develop something, which can reach each and every farmer, not relying on all the weather god, but also on technology. These are all interesting opportunities for us. Another very interesting thing is called new age blockchain technology, which makes whole food supply chain transparent. For example, do you know where your tomatoes come from? Do you know where your mango coming from? Do you know all those things, and what is the if there is any mix, is there is any adulteration, because these days there are a lot of food fraud happening, a lot of adulterations is happening, and mix of different things. With new technology, how you can make it more transparent and more clean, and all those informations will be available with just scanning your food product, and where it comes from, what it contains, what is the temperature, where it traveled through. All the information will be on your farm top, and this can be a possibility. Think about all these things locally you can create. Huge opportunities on your way. So, friends, listen. I covered a kind of I give you a very broad perspective covering the whole supply chain. Supply chain means starting from the farmer, going to the transporter, the middleman, to the market, then the processor to the retailer to the consumer, the whole process. There is a plenty of opportunity in all these stages. Opportunity in developing country and developed country, consumer opportunity in consumer level and the processor level. Yeah. So the problem is huge. The concept is circular, and how technology can help us to fix this problem. But one critical element here is we cannot solve this problem with one discipline. With, let's say, with engineers only cannot solve, or let's say biotechnologists cannot solve, or the social science people cannot solve. So we have to all come together, different disciplines, not just different disciplines, different stakeholders, farmers, consumers, NGO, industry, government, policymaker. We have to come together to find a holistic pattern to move and fix this broken food system and making it more circular, where there is zero waste. Yeah. One interesting example, every time I work with this Uganda university, that every time a student joins the university, he or she will be assigned with one farmer or attached to one farmer. So throughout his study period, they will interact and work with the farmer. It may not be only farmer, it can be industry, it can be a company, but then you are always with a real stakeholders as a partner, right? So that is what you'll be. So how to bring these things together so that the research is not far away from the real life, and you contribute to the society. Yeah. So with this, I would like to thank you all. I'm really grateful again for the opportunity. And now I'm open to, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take your call.
So please feel free to ask any question, students. I mean, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself or you can write in the chat box.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, everything you shared and discussed was just wonderful. So, like, if we have any ideas, can we further connect with you?
Absolutely. So my contact details is Bisalji. So he will share my presentation and my email address so that you can reach me anytime you like.
Okay, sir. That was the only concern. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And
Thank you.
Dr. Manoj Dora is also in LinkedIn. So I will share all details of Dr. Manoj Dora's contact, and so you can be in touch with him definitely. And also here at P P Savani University, we are basically organizing SSIP events, and we are always looking for startup ideas and entrepreneurship, where we are committed to not only provide you the financial support, we are also looking for all sort of support. For example, if you are having some brilliant idea that is patentable, we are also going to help you for patent. Let's say if you have a startup, a successful running startup, and you want to scale it up, we will also help you for that. Okay. So despite connecting with the expert, like beside connecting with the experts, we will also try to help you in all sort of things. Okay.
Hello, very good afternoon, Dr. Manoj. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Wilson, I can. How are you?
Yeah, long time no see. Okay, I do have a question actually. Thank you for the excellent presentation with regard to the circular economy in terms of, food safety. So my question is, we know that 30% of the food grown or produced in the world which is being wasted. I would say that,
Yes.
you said 50% population in the US
I'm sorry, Wilson. Actually,
Voice is breaking, I guess.
yes, Wilson, I can't
waste.
hear you. No, it's
Yeah, what I'm saying, overeating also is a kind of food waste. So, is there any
absolutely.
way that we can make food wasting food as a stigma, or not as being a part of good manners, so that people will stop wasting food, so that no, it should be taken up by one of the world leaders, maybe global leaders, who should come up with this initiative. Maybe with your research team, you can see how this can be developed further, whereby nobody would be wasting any food. If someone wastes food, that person would be considered not as a civilized person. So that no, eventually that will lead to better food security for everyone in the world.
Wilson, you're right. Actually, that's what we have been taught. When we are a child, never leave the table before you finish all the food, right? So it is already kind of uh, we have that education, and most of us we do, but that's one difference I wanted to say. In most developing countries, like ours, the food is not that much wasted in the consumer level. The problem happens the consumer level. More food is wasted in the developed society, where there is called problem of plenty. So there is more stigmatization of this is more necessary in developed country than in India. Let's say depend, but there is a variations. There is definitely one study I found that higher the income level you have, more the food waste you create or you generate. Think about it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Dr. Dora. Basically, when I was in US, I saw, and I mean, I was also part of it. Basically, people used to go to Costco, buy in bulk, And most of the time they will buy more than what they need, and that basically leads to wasting the food materials. So this was really insightful talk. I mean, is there any more question, students? Uh, I guess not. So there was one comment, what all I think about wasted food and biodegradable waste is generating biogas out of it so that the unprivileged are able to cook. So
Yes,
there is one comment from Jainisha Mawani.
yeah, that is also another opportunity, Janisha, that biogas is one of the interesting opportunity we can create out of food waste. That is very, very true. And that is a entrepreneurship opportunity one can take up.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Smriti.
The session was really enriching. Sir, I would like the entrepreneurship more. I would like to see it in a way. If we say that undernutrition and obesity both are problems, and both are
Absolutely.
related to this healthcare industry, right? So I would like your team research work to look forward in balancing between the two, because this is a huge void in healthcare sector, that there are undernutrition and there are people suffering from obesity.
Yes. So that is a very, very valid questions and very important question. The challenge is it's in two different reasons, or another very interesting. I give you an example here. Uh, there is one study found, that in the UK, they make the density of McDonald's, density of the fast food chain, McDonald's and KFC and Burger King, they are all the fast food centers, right? And found that the region where there are more poor people or privileged people, in those regions, you have higher density of fast food chain restaurants, more McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC, which is very fast food serving. And those centers are, or density of those chain restaurants are more in the poorer region compared to the region where there is rich people. So poor people, they choose cheap food, go to the fast food restaurant, and that will have an impact on their health. So these fast food make people more obese, and they have less nutrition content, right? So it has a very significant, the loop. So who are more tendency for you to eat cheaper food, that is fast food, and that leads to less nutritional content, less nutritional value. That leads you to bad health and more obesity and other kind of health problem because of you are more relying on the cheap fast food. So how do we change that? And similarly, another study, during this COVID, there is more problem or there is more health problems or even death of underprivileged people or people who have low nutritional, intake. Because low nutritional intake will take you to low immunity level. So you are more vulnerable, you are more in risk if you are not eating healthy. Yeah. So it means you are more exposed to this virus. So this is a very, very interesting opportunity now. We can wait for vaccine, but before vaccine, let's focus on the high quality nutrition which can easily we can eat. So good nutrition can build your good immune system, which will be easier and faster to fight all kind of viruses and other health difficulties. And then once the so the our thinking now should move from plenty of food to right food with right nutrition quantity, which can increase our immune system, which can make us a healthy body and mind. Yeah. And so, so that is the first. The second is, instead of thinking about, all the carrot you saw, the carrot which is going to a landfill because it doesn't look good. But the carrot, if you could use the nutritional value of the carrot, you don't have to bring the whole carrot to the plant. What we need, nutritional content of the carrot. How to extract the nutritional content of the food product, and it will be easier to distribute the nutritional content because it will be smaller amount, compressed amount, easier for you to easier for you to distribute. So now we should move towards a nutritional based or nutrition based food system, and preventing the nutritional loss in different stages, and that will give us a better immune system and better healthy life.
Any more questions, students? I guess not. So, Dr. Manoj, it was really great to have you for our student Startup and Innovation webinar. And your talk was really inspiring and informative and very insightful. I mean, the way you talked about waste to wealth, I mean, this was really an eye-opener for most of us, I believe. And I really feel that the entrepreneurship ideas that you talked along with the presentation, I mean, those were some of the brilliant things that we can think of. And I believe that some of our students will find these problems intriguing so that they can look for the possible solutions and entrepreneurship opportunity for that. And I really appreciate the way you gracefully accepted our request to inspire our students for startup and innovation. And thank you once again for sparing your valuable time. I really know, I mean, how busy you are, but despite that, you manage the time for us. That is really great. And I'm very thankful for you for that. Thank you, Dr. Manoj.
Just one, Ria asked a very good question.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
So she wrote, what can we do for the poor people that they do not buy the cheap food and does not get ill from this? Ria, this is a great question. Thank you. So, the nutritional food is you can make nutritional food cheap, right? You do not have to, there is, for example, diversifying your food, including more vegetables, fruits, and also, we have many traditional methods like, I remember the mango. Let's say take the example of mango, right? It's the one season, but you can make a dry mango. You can make, which can keep for ages. There is another very interesting food product. These are some. I'm just giving some examples so that you can make make a gas out of it. So the focus should be more about the nutritional food, which can be provided with less money. So it is important to make the awareness clear. What are the healthy food and what are not so healthy and which has bad health implications, right? So that awareness is very, very important before we do. For example, in the midday meal scheme, right? Instead of just rice and potatoes, how do we diversify those food content? Yeah, let's say the ragi, one in millet, right? It's kind of superfood, right? So these days you are more interested in eating Maggi than ragi, right? So how do we change that mindset? And ragi is cheap, Maggi is expensive, but we are more interested in that, right? So how do we change this whole setting? Is much more important, right? So that awareness is very critical. Our traditional knowledge is very good. I remember there is one, the bamboo shoots, very smooth bamboo shoots. In some part of India, we eat that. It's full of zinc, full of nutritional value. But how do we use it? We can keep it for a long time. It's cheap, but we don't know much about it. So the important is bringing that awareness from food to nutrition is quite critical. Yeah, and then giving it in the public distribution system. Why only rice? Provide. There are several other elements you can provide, right? Yeah, some of the some of the ideas I could share with you. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think any other question. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you,
No,
Dr.
thanks a
Manoj.
lot.
Yeah.
Many people who wrote, Prashun, Ria, thanks a lot. Everybody who wrote, they enjoyed the talk. So, it was a pleasure to talk to you all. I'm always available if you would like to reach out. I'll be happy to help or, in any way I possible. So I am grateful, Visalji, for the opportunity that I could share my thoughts with your students. Thank you.
Thank you for having you, and I will keep you bothering, keep you bothering in the future too, because we may
You
need your
never
help to
bother
guide our
me.
students. Yeah. Yeah.
You never bother me.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Wilson. Thanks a lot for your time. You're a busy man. You still can join.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
participants, for joining.
Okay, Visalji, are we leaving then? Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Manoj bhai, thank you so much. So I will talk to you later.